All right, welcome. I'm going to call to order the regular Board of Supervisors meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first we have public comment. Secretary, you want to come up to the podium here and introduce yourselves?
Good evening. I'm Betsy Boyer. We're here from Center Care, Center Crest. We've been going out and talking to all of the townships, and we thought we were on your agenda tonight, but we see we're not, so we're just going to do public comment. We are in the process, we hope you know, of building a new facility, a new home for the residents of Center County. In 2013, the county commissioners got out of the business of being in skilled nursing care. They turned Center Crest over to the nonprofit organization Center Care, and we've been running it with the assistance of CHR, a management firm, for the last 6+ months, 6 years plus, and we began the process of looking at what we were going to do to make everything better for the residents of Center County when they're in that stage of life where they need care and a home when they can't live in their own. We knew we had to replace the current facility. It's 80+ years old, and it just does not meet the needs of the residents, and it certainly won't meet the needs of the residents as we move forward in coming years. So we embarked on the process of doing our marketing and all the rest of it, and found land. We thought it would take us 2 years to find land. We found it in 6 months, and we took that as a sign that we were supposed to move forward with this. As you know, building this building, it's a $45 million building, and there are no tax dollars involved in this. So we've been raising money, and we've been, with what Center Care was able to put aside the first 5 years that we had the facility. As we began our fundraising process, we ran into some things that made us say we needed to start reaching out into the community and tell our story apparently better than we had been. And that is, we are no longer run by the county. The county has nothing to do with Center Crest at this point in time as far as running it. No maintenance, nothing along those lines. We are not a for-profit, we are a non-profit. We are a 501c3, and as I said, there are no tax dollars involved in this project. We started our fundraising, and those were the things that we were being told. Why would we give to the county? Well, you're not giving to the county. Why would we give to a for-profit? We're not. So we wanted to come out and share our message that all of that has changed. We are a nonprofit, and we want the residents of Center County to know that this is their facility. It's not ours. It belongs to the residents of Center County when they come to that stage of their life where they need more care than they can get, or a safer place than what their home is. And that's why we're embarking on this new, and if you haven't seen it, it's a big building. It's a very big building. If you aren't familiar with it, we're right behind the old Starlight Drive-In. Everybody thought we were building on the Starlight Drive-In. That's being rented out to Fiore, so it looked like it's been under construction for a long time. That wasn't us. We are directly behind that. We purchased 30 acres when we bought our land because we want to be able, as we did our marketing studies, we were told that there are other areas of need in the county that we want to address as we move forward. The most pressing need right now was to replace the skilled nursing care part of us, but we hope to be able to offer independent living and assisted living in the future on the additional 15 acres. This current building is taking up 15 of those 30 acres. As I said, it's a big building. With me tonight is Al Jones, who is on our board, and Andrew Noggle, who is the administrator for Center Crest. And Andrew is going to share some of what the new building will bring to the community, and then Al has some other things to share with you.
So as Betsy said a couple of times, it's a very large building, so we're talking around 143,000 square feet for a building. So if anyone's been in the current Center Crest, it's right around 80,000 square feet, so we're doubling the size. People have asked, where does that space go? Is it for office spaces? Is it for common spaces? So really, we put a lot of space into the resident-oriented areas. So in the core of our building, we added a multi-purpose room, which will be able to hold 240 residents or 240 community members at one time. On our second floor, we put together a chapel that will be able to hold 80 people in it at one time. We've added a dialysis unit in the middle of our building as well. For residents who have to go out for dialysis, we'll now be able to have dialysis in-house. So if you can imagine going out on a bus for 3 times a week for 8 hours to a dialysis center, getting dialysis, and then coming back to a nursing home, we're now going to be able to do that 5 days a week for 4 hours, and you'll get to go enjoy bingo in the afternoon or card games or things like that. One thing I've learned about working in a nursing home is just don't mess with bingo on Wednesday afternoon. So we're hopefully going to give that back to the residents who have to go out for that dialysis. They'll be able to enjoy that bingo time and enjoy that camaraderie with their other residents in the area. A couple other neat features we've added out in the resident rooms. We've gained about 100 square feet, 100 square feet out there for residents by taking the PTAC unit, which is basically an air conditioner unit. When you walk into a hotel room, you have an air conditioner unit underneath the window, right? We got rid of those and put them up in the ceilings for residents to be able to gain more space in those rooms for every resident. We added in pantries and dining rooms, so the days of like when you go to the hospital and you see those big carts coming down the hallway and someone's serving you food out of that big cart, we're getting rid of those big carts. Someone will come into your room with an iPad. They'll ask you what you'd like off of the menu for the day. We'll make it. The pantry will make the food fresh for you, and then they'll bring it down to your room. So really trying to get back to a good quality of life for the residents in that area. We're going to be increasing our workforce size. We'll be getting some more employees for housekeeping and maintenance. Not only do we have a large building, but we have 30 acres we now have to take care of. So lots of garden space, which brings me to the third area that we really looked at for residents. We're going to have 2 very large garden areas outside for residents to be able to go out and enjoy the areas. We'll have a special secured unit for our residents who are in our dementia unit, which we've increased the size of that room as well. So our dementia unit currently is around 24 beds. We'll be increasing it to 30 beds. We've also added balconies on our upper 2 floors for all the residents up there. They can go outside instead of having to come down to the ground floor. So they'll be able to go out and enjoy that sunshine a little bit more frequently and a little bit easier than having to come down in an elevator to get outside and be able to enjoy that sunshine. So back to the staffing thing. We're looking for more staff, so if anyone's looking to have a job, look me up. We're more than happy to take care of you. We're looking for nurses. There's a national shortage for nurses right now, so if you know anyone wanting to go to school to be a nurse, look us up as well. We put people through CNA school. Also, if you work for us for a year, we do a $15,000 scholarship for you to go back to further your education for an LPN or an RN. We also do things for related fields as well. We do continuing education for all of our maintenance staff and our housekeeping staff so they can be educated on new technologies that are out there. So we're always looking to hire more staff. So anyone that knows anybody looking for a job, tell them to come see us at Center Crest. We will be having a high acuity unit as well. This current area, high acuity means vents and trachs, people who are on vents for long term, trachs that are new trachs. There's not really a nursing home in this area that takes those types of residents. There's not really anyone who does. So you're looking to have to go to Williamsport or to Johnstown to really, if you have a person that's that. So you're leaving your family, you're going out of the county to a home, and then someone's traveling to see you an hour, 45 minutes every day if they want to come see you. We want to stop that. We want you to be able to keep in the county, stay in your home. Center Crest and Center Care is all about the blue-collar worker, right? They're the people that built the town, they're the people that built this community. So we really want to make sure they're getting the things they need by being able to stay in the community. So that's one of the areas that we did. That unit will have piped-in oxygen. It'll have an isolation room for residents who have high infection rates, things like that. It'll be all staffed with RNs, more like a hospital setting for nursing. So.
And we're going from Currently, we have only 4 private rooms in our building. We're going to 66 private rooms. We'll have rehab where you're getting a knee, a hip, or something replaced. You can come in, spend a couple weeks with us, rehab, and go on home. And the new gym is pretty amazing. We're pretty excited about that. So, Al?
Hi. Thank you so much again for giving us some time. We really appreciate it. And,
Do you mind because of the camera? Thank you.
This way our residents will be able to see your letter.
okay. How many of you have been in the Centercrest facility at East Howard Street in Belfont? Well, this is just going to be amazing. And if you've been there, you have an appreciation for what Betsy said. You know, it's very old. It really isn't what's needed. And the Department of Health signaled a few years ago that in 2022, they were going to make us comply with building codes. Now, that just accelerated what we knew we wanted to do anyway. That hasn't been made official, but it doesn't matter anymore because we jumped on it in case it might be. There's just no way East Howard Street was going to be made to be compliant. As Betsy said, it's a $45 million project all in, and that's construction of the land, the design costs, and all that sort of thing. We spent quite a bit of time trying to decide the most appropriate financing method to follow. In the end, we decided to obtain a mortgage. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has a rural mortgage program. They loved our project, and it's a great vehicle for us, but it's a mortgage. And you know, if you have a mortgage, you need equity, the difference between the mortgage and $45 million. When the bids were open, they were $2 million more than what we had. And so we're scrambling to address that. There is something called value engineering, where you take money out of the project. So we took $2 million out. Now, the building's going to be built. With any luck, the residents will be in residence this time in next year. But it won't have all of the things that we had originally incorporated in our design. We raised $4 million with 50 donors. We never had any donors. No one ever donated to the county when it was operated by the county. So we started from zero. And the largest donation we received was from the Hamer Foundation. Thank goodness. We wouldn't have been able to do the project without that. But they became disappointed, as we were disappointed that we didn't do a very good job sort of communicating with all of the people of Center County as to what this new project involves and why we need the support throughout the county. So the Hamer Foundation has provided an additional $300,000 to be used as a match. Between now and the end of April, anything that will be donated will be matched dollar for dollar. And that would go a long way towards getting us to that $2 million. It costs about $8,500 a month to be a resident at Centercrest. You know, that's $100,000 a year. That is quite an undertaking for families. And because of Medicaid, not Medicare, but Medicaid, it's possible to defray. And so at any given time, our population at Centercrest is about 70% Medicaid residents. And so there are only 3 facilities in Center County that accept Medicaid. Windy Hill in Phelpsburg, Harside, which is sort of behind the State College High School, which is relatively small. We have 240 beds, and we're the largest. So we really are a critical component of the healthcare system for our elderly residents. And as Andrew said, it's kind of the blue collar ones. So we just want you to understand what we're up to, why we need support, and to clear up these misconceptions that Betsy mentioned that seem to be pervasive. So we're just trying every way that we can to communicate and get the message out. So tell your friends and neighbors. Thank you again for giving us this opportunity. We appreciate it.
As Al said, the only reason we're here is to get the message out, and so we ask that any way that you have to share this with your constituents, that you would help us out and do that. You know, several of the townships have put it on websites and newsletters and that kind of thing, and we're just trying to get that word out. We're not here to ask you for money, but the donations, we need to get the word out that those will be critical for us as we move forward in the next few months.
And that challenge ends at the end of April.
Any questions we can answer for any of you?
There's a place out in the lobby if you have any stuff you want to leave out there. This is going to be, this goes on our website, this video, so people will be able to see exactly what you said.
Great.
And social media and stuff, so we'll make sure that.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you, guys.
really appreciate your time. We
Thank
appreciate your
you.
time too. Thank you.
This is a pointed note, Pam, that'll go under as guest speaker. not
Right.
under public comment.
Right.
Okay, next we have Pam Winters regarding the King property.
I brought a copy for the supervisors to look at for the John and Rachel King's land development. They want to build a second house on their farm, and so we're going through the process to allow them to do that. I have the papers here that if the board votes to sign the papers on the planning module, that I have that here tonight, and I'd like to get them signed if possible, and then we can get this into DEP quickly and get their approval. If
And
you have any
you've already
questions, I can,
You've already been through planning commission,
Yes.
they've already given
Yep.
you their approval.
yes, I have from the county and the township. I have the plan has been signed by the zoning officer and the SEO, and so as a planning module, I just need the township's approval.
You guys have any questions regarding the planning module?
No.
I'll entertain a motion to approve signing of the planning module.
I will make that motion. I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And if I can take that one with me, and I will
Yep.
make copies of all the signature pages and get back to you next week for you guys and for the planning commission with all of the signatures on it. Now, and the secretary actually signs a transmittal letter, date there and sign, and if you don't mind doing this now, I can go. This is the resolution. I need the resolution number filled in, and then whoever's signing it, and then the seal also has to be on there.
I'll have to do that when I go back to the office. Are you going to be here till the end of the meeting?
I was gonna leave.
Okay.
Read it again tomorrow?
I will.
Okay, I can pick
You want
that.
to wait, and then I'll sign it.
And,
tomorrow.
well, keep that one signed. This is the checklist. And then actually, supervisors need to fill out section 2 and sign it.
There you go.
Okay, do you just want to keep?
I
this?
sure will, and then I'll get that done for you.
Do you have the details from the plan?
He did do replacement area testing, and a waiver is not requested.
So just one, number one here.
On that, it's not marginal, but he just do the replacement area. If you do, you have that ordinance, I assume, and he did replacement area testing, but SEO. That's for long-term planning. There's no waivers.
So you're saying it does have marginal conditions?
No,
or
it
does
does not, no. But he did replacement area testing, so I would check that because that's what he did.
Okay.
Conditions.
I think it, yeah. You're saying it doesn't have marginal conditions, I mean, that's
Yeah.
fine. But go ahead, just.
This is for long-term planning. Well, it's replacement area testing, this is long-term planning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll call, just not tomorrow, take that up.
Yep. Okay, on the liaisons report, solicitors report?
I don't have anything to add other than what's on the agenda.
I did want to make a note that we had an executive session before the meeting regarding Court of Common Pleas cases 2018-4839, 2018-4840, writ of mandamus at the Court of Common Pleas case 2020-0525, and civil action case against Blair Petroleum. Emergency management coordinator, they are not here. Fire company, just wanted to let everyone know that bingo is, I believe, next Friday, the 21st. That was all they had to report. Old Gregg School Advisory Board, they did not have a quorum at their February 4th meeting, so there's nothing for the Board of Supervisors at this time. They will be having a spring craft fair Saturday, April 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and there are 25 vendors so far registered. Anything you want to add, Carol? Fiscal plant manager's report?
Yeah, I just want to mention that I'm in the process of installing a scale remover from our hot water system so the dishwasher doesn't get caked up with lime and anything else that uses hot water. Also, we have a door, one of these fire doors broken up here on where the stairwell goes on to the second floor. And I had to buy a hinge on eBay. It took a while to get it. I had a bid on it, actually. So I got the hinge. I just need to put it up now. That's all I have.
Operations manager, anything, Ken?
Nothing.
Anything else for Old Gregg School?
Not here.
Penn Valley Code Enforcement Agency, I do not believe we received the report.
No.
But from the code agency meeting last month, they have, at the time they were advertising for new hire, I believe they have hired a new employee. Glenn Ripka is retiring from the code agency. They have added Worth Township to the list of who they're servicing now. but their financials are really good, so we don't have to contribute any additional money. They did ask that with Glenrick retiring and the cancellation of his cell phone, which is $51, they would like to add $17 a month to the paychecks for the other 3 employees who use their own phones, just as an offset since they use them for work. So I wanted to bring that up here so you could decide that, and I can take that back officially.
We need to make a decision on that. Yeah, I'll make a motion that they take the phone and divide it up.
And $17 a month to the employees who
Yeah.
take paychecks for cell phone.
Yeah, add $17 a month to the employees' paychecks for their cell phones. That's the motion.
I'll second
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Anything else for Code Enforcement Agency? Questions, concerns? EMS?
I attended their meeting last evening, and it's kind of the same issue again with staffing, but they think they've got things somewhat under control, but it's always up and down. On April 4th, they're going to do the Mr. Sticky again, hoagies, and soup fundraiser. There's going to be advertisements put out as soon as I get a few. I will put them in the building here. And there's going to be at least 2 phone numbers on there that folks can pre-order. Also, I was told last night in the meeting, there was person or persons were anonymous, but the company actually collected $25,000 check. So that's a big help. But, you know, it's the same story. We all need to push the issue of the memberships. Because if we could sell enough memberships, that would be more than enough to basically maintain them. That's all I have at this point.
Any questions, comments for EMS?
No, not here.
Thames Valley Regional Planning Commission met on January 28th. We had a reorganization and election of officers. We worked on discussed updating the regional comprehensive plan to the public safety portion in particular, to include the PVEMS. There are fire companies listed there, so we decided to add the EMS as a section under that comprehensive plan. So we also discussed regional equipment inventory. There was one started many years ago. It's very outdated. The Planning Commission is determining whether or not that's a viable thing for the commission to work on. You already mentioned the EMS, Mr. Sticky's April 4th. We're also reviewing the bylaws for the Regional Planning Commission, and we discussed Center Wisp and their expansion into Penns Valley. Any questions or comments on that?
I want to mention that the next meeting is March 25th in this room, 7 o'clock.
Planning Commission met. We were not there. I believe they discussed issues with logging permits and the wording in the ordinance for that. So I believe in the next couple months they'll have some recommendations to our board for some things regarding logging permits. Anything for the Planning Commission? Municipal Park?
Yeah, Tri-Municipal Park is looking forward to planting trees this spring. We may need help from the township with a piece of equipment. We'll know more about that as it gets nearer the time. I also want to request that the $5,000 we put in the budget for the park be released at this time, and we need a motion to do that. I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Anything else for Tri-Park?
I have nothing. No.
Joel, anything you want to? Oh, you're not there anymore.
I'm not there anymore. I am, but I'm not.
Well, thank you for your time. Water and Sewer Authority, I don't believe there was anything to report. Okay. We'll move on to the Secretary Treasurer's report. Before we make a motion regarding the meeting minutes, there was a concern that was brought up regarding our appointment of a CPA to do the audit. So I just want to make, when we approve the minutes, to make a clarification that the auditor is appointed to do the audit for the fiscal year of 2019. Any discussion on that? So I'll entertain a motion to approve the January 6, 2020 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes with the clarification that the CPA Baker Tilly was hired to do the audit for the fiscal year 2019.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve the all funds financial report.
I'll make that motion.
Second here.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. The next item on here is regarding a purchase of a printer for the office. Pam, do you want to talk about that?
We've been having some issues with our printer. I mean, some days it looks like, yeah, we have lots of blurs through them. I spoke to Center Hall Borough and I also spoke to Potter Township secretaries, and they both lease through, it's called Doing Better Business, where they bring the printer copy. It's a printer, copier, scanner, fax, everything all in one. The only thing that we provide would be the paper, of course, and when I spoke to them on the phone, the most it would cost us would be around $97. But without coming to look at it, they said that's pretty high for such a small township and what we do. It would probably most likely be a lot less, but they're going to come and give us a quote, which would give us a little bit leeway of buying all the ink and everything that we have to buy for the two printers that we're using now. One printer we use for our color copier, and the other one we use just for black and white. The one that we're talking about here is the only way it would cost us more is if we would exceed the 100 color copies. And then that would, be like a 2 cents per page. I cannot foresee us going over 100 copies on color. We don't use a whole lot of color, but what we do, I'm going to say maybe 20 a month. I think it would be beneficial for us, especially with meetings and things. But that's something to look at. They find it very handy. And the company comes in, if it goes down in ink, they come in and refill that. That's all part of that charge.
All the maintenance and everything is directly connected, and so when the ink gets low, they're notified, they come out and they fill the ink.
They also they can have it set up that if Doug would need to scan something from that printer into his computer, it's already scanned that it can go. They have it set up for Doug's, and they'll have it set up for mine or whoever that needs that at that time. So that's something that's also nice as well.
Okay, for redundancy, we would want to keep one of the other printers because they do go down. I mean, these things do break sometimes, so you don't want to be stuck without a printer.
Well, they come out within an hour, she said, both of them. They're like very quick on the draw.
Okay, I guess I'm a little reluctant because we went through this before. We went to a copier, from a company and we paid rent for it. Then we decided that was too much, paid too much money, it'd be cheaper to have our own all-in-one machine, so we went there, and now we're kind of going back the other way.
How long has it been since then?
Well, it has been, that all-in-one machine's been there at least 5 years anyway. I guess I'd like to take one final look at the cost of the all-in-one machine we have, and maybe it make more sense just to get a color printer and just use it for photographs and what we need to do in color. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's the way to go, to get tied into that monthly payment every month, and we don't have that now. So Give me just a little, I'll try to do this next couple of days, just see what we're spending.
Okay, I also looked at the cost of another printer, just for a color printer copier scanner. We're looking maybe close to $400. And that's not including the cost that it's gonna be for the ink. Because, you know, you do go through a lot of ink with those. So that doesn't include that as well.
So to rent this copier you're talking about, it's between $77 a month or 90?
70 to 90, he said, it. You know, he's going high with the 90 because without coming out.
Okay. Well, we can go ahead and have them come out anyway and see, at least nail that down and find out what that is. So.
Yeah.
You want to do that, Pam, and then we'll discuss it again next month,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
No?
Anything else from the Secretary Treasurer?
No.
Do we have to buy the paper from them?
No, we can purchase the
We use
paper
the
anywhere.
paper we're using now,
Yep.
right?
One good thing that they did tell me, and when I was at Potter Township today as well, there's times where, you know, in case we need to print a map or something, they do offer the extra trays with the larger paper that we can do that, because I know we've run into that issue in the past here in the office, that we needed to print something a little bit bigger, longer, or something like that. So they do offer the extra trays for that extra longer paper.
Okay, which we have long paper now, though, right? We can't.
No.
8 by 11, 8.5 by 11. You can't print bigger than 8.5 by 11.
I print an 8.5 by 14.
Well, you can print, you can print longer sheets, but you can't print
Yeah,
bigger.
okay. You can't print, you're talking about bigger, actually, greater than 8.5 in width.
Yeah.
Yeah, most, like those maps they had are usually 11 by 17.
Yep.
Okay,
But
yeah. Well, that beginning to sound better all the time. Let's see what it's costing us.
Right to know officer's report is attached. Any comments on that?
Come on, Darren.
Yeah, just that it's long. That's my comment. Spending a lot of time and effort on this right now. That's the end of my comment.
Okay, roadmaster's report. The guys have been working on trimming trees on Gingrich Gaps and Saddleby Road that we're fixing up this spring. They've also been on Ridge Road, and they'll be working on a couple other areas. They've obviously been plowing and salting the snow, plowing and salting the roads. They've filled some of the potholes up in the mountains. An item for discussion tonight that came up was some drainage issues on Bittner Hollow Road, where the new subdivision is going in. Doug, do you want to?
Yeah, we noticed that there's water accumulating on the south side of Bittner Hollow Road up around where this new subdivision, the Century Estates subdivision, is going in. And a lot of that water is flowing out of the subdivision from the driveway and just from the land around it. And there's a big detention pond there, and that has water in it, but it's not feeding in. So I guess what we're concerned about is that you get a heavy rainfall or a snow and a big thaw along with rain or an adverse weather condition. That's going to produce a lot of water up there, and it's going to come down and run across Bittner Hollow Road. We don't want water running on the road. And it probably will cause some flooding too. So we want Century Estates subdivision to look at this again and maybe put another detention pond in or some culverts. We would like to meet with them and come to some reasonable decision about how to handle that. So we've written a letter to Century Estates subdivision and expressed our concerns, and I would like all of us to sign a few of these letters so we could send those in the carbon copies out and proceed to make an appointment with these folks and have them come out and look at it.
Is there a motion to approve the letter to museum holder?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, second here.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. The other item on the roadmaster's report, we've been talking about what it looks like in the future of the road crew, the equipment, things like that. We talked about needing a fourth person at certain times. Well, a fourth person means we need another truck. Needing another truck means we need somewhere to store the truck. They're at overflow as it is with the property down here. So I think that we should start at least putting out feelers or looking for another potential piece of property, even if it's just for cold storage where it's a pole building, we can store the grader and stuff during the winter time while it's not in use. And really start looking at what this is going to look like moving forward so that we don't end up in a bind. And any discussion on that, thoughts?
Well, what I'm thinking, if we're going to hire a fourth person and possibly another truck, I think we should seriously look at plowing our own snow around here because it's expensive and it doesn't get plowed the way we want it to get plowed. And if we're adding another person, I also think we should continue to cut the grounds around here rather than hire someone to kind of do that because we can always do it more cheaply. And if the road crew feels that they need some money from the old Gregg school for some of this, then we should pay them instead of paying other people to do it. So that's my 2 cents. I'm no objection to looking around for storage or anything like that.
Definitely agree with the plowing and stuff.
Yeah.
It's costing us an arm and a leg right now.
Yeah.
We can't, with 3 though, pull them because this place needs to be plowed early in the morning. And
Well, it's so hard to do now.
yeah, and they need to be out. So, but what are you guys' thoughts on putting out feelers, looking for potential land to put a cold storage and stuff on?
We don't have a choice. I need to do that.
In terms of land, I mean, nothing strikes me right off.
Right, but we can put something out to let people know that we're
Yeah.
interested. So if people are going to be looking to put any property up, that they might consider talking with us about it.
Yeah.
Brandon said ideally the plot of land, long-term, 5 acres would be good, just for the amount of space and stuff. Obviously, we could go a little bit smaller than that if need be, but to do it and do it right and not have to do it again, in a couple of years, would be to at least shoot for trying to get close to that. We need a motion if we put that on Facebook or just put something there. Anything else regarding roads?
Not here.
Okay. Unfinished business, underground storage tank. Obviously, we've discussed that regarding Blair Petroleum. But the above-ground storage tank stuff is nearly complete. The last little bit will be done when the inspector comes out. We don't know when that is yet. So that project in itself is almost complete. New business, we have received another lawsuit, writ of mandamus, Michelle Grove versus Gregg Township and Carrie Miller. Any comments on that? Okay. May 5th meeting, I believe Doug has a conflict for that date, and you would like us to look at another date for May.
May 5th.
Yeah. I don't know why we have May 5th on there. May 14th?
Should be the
Should
14th.
have been the 14th.
That would be the date we normally meet.
May 14th. There you go.
22nd, the 8th.
Those are Fridays. Are you purposely picking a Friday?
Oh, I'm sorry, 21st, 21st.
I think that's the Friday before Memorial Day, so we might not get anyone here.
Just move on to June.
Well, yeah, that would be.
Well, the 21st would be the third Thursday, the 7th would be the first Thursday.
Do we have any other boards that meet on the third Thursday?
Not that many.
Potentially works for you. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to move to advertise the May meeting for the 21st.
21st.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
No correspondence, anything else for the good of the order?
I have nothing.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
I will make that motion.
The next meeting is March 12th at 6:30 here. Thank you. Have a good night.